Hey everybody, and welcome to today's video. Now today's video comes from something that I actually channeled for somebody the other day, and it's more of a generic message. It's not a specific message, but it's something that basically revolves around the process of either just allowing life to happen, or whether you want to call it your manifestations or just a goal that you've set. However you want to look at it, it's basically something that can kind of help you see where you might be stuck or how you might be impeding your own progress. So it goes something like this. I want you to think of your life as a ball. And this ball, it's a little ball, and it's one of those really, really bouncy balls, okay? And the path that you've set forward, whether it be for your life or your manifestation, whatever you want to call it, that path is this long sidewalk. Let's say it's a 50-foot sidewalk. And it's a regular sidewalk. It's got cracks and it's got sticks and rocks that every once in a while you'll see it or just laying on the sidewalk. Normal, unclean sidewalk that you would find in any neighborhood. So you've got this ball. Now this ball, when it bounces, it's going to continue to bounce. You're going to smash it against the ground, and it's going to bounce really, really high. But it's going to continue to move on the sidewalk. And as it goes on the sidewalk, each time it's going to go up and down, and each time it's going to go up and down a little bit lower, and a little bit lower, a little bit lower, till it finally stops bouncing, starts rolling, and then eventually just rests and is at peace. Now, if you think about it, when you manifest something, when that ball finally finds its spot where it's at peace, that's when your manifestation comes into the physical. So what happens? Well, a number of things happen. First of all, we see that ball bounce, and we watch it go up, and we see it come down, and then we start to see, oh, whoa, wait a second. There's rocks and sticks, and there's all these things. And what we don't understand is that as soon as we bounce the ball once, it's predetermined where that ball is going to land unless we interfere. And so when you bounce that ball, when you set that intention, you watch it bounce and it goes up really high and it starts to come back down and you start to see it bouncing, but then you see a stick or a rock or a crack and you want to intervene. You say, I can't let the ball go there because it might go off course. Only thing is, you don't really know the course. That's not how the universe works. You set the intention, and the universe takes you on the journey. So what inevitably happens is a couple of things. You will either try to catch that ball before it hits the rock or the stick, thinking that you've saved yourself from a trauma or saved yourself from going way off course. Or, as you start to notice that it is possible that the ball is going to hit something, what you'll start to do is paying attention to the rise of the ball, and instead of paying attention to the really good things that are happening, the signs and the signals that are coming to you while the ball is rising, the only thing you're focused on is catching it before it starts that drop, because that drop sometimes doesn't feel so well, and if you don't let it drop, it can't hit a rock or a stick and go off course. There's only one problem with that. Every time you stop, every time you catch the ball so it doesn't hit a stick or catch the ball up here, because you don't want to have that drop, well, what do you have to do? You have to sit there with the ball in your hand and you have to wonder, well, what did I do wrong? Why didn't I get what I manifested? And inevitably, what you're going to have to do is bounce that ball all over again and start all over again. So, what's going to happen? Well, if you don't allow yourself the experiences of the drops, and you don't allow yourself the experiences of hitting the rocks and the sticks along the way, you're never going to get to the point where you can just let it happen and let the ball bounce and bounce and bounce until it rolls and finds its peace, which is that's the end of the rainbow. That's what you're looking to get to. See, but we can't control it. When you manifest something, when you set a goal and you put it into motion, the worst thing that you can do is try to drive the bus. Just allow. And the easiest part to this is that once you've done it once you've started with something small, I preach this consistently, especially when you're manifesting. Start with something small that will not have an extraordinarily good or bad impact on your life. Something that you'd like, but you can live without. Okay? And just bounce the ball and just stand back. Just stand back. And whatever comes at you, if it hits a stick and rolls, or if it hits a crack and bounces higher and goes off course or goes off into the grass, you've still allowed it to happen. And inevitably, if that veering off course doesn't land you on what you've manifested, it will land you on the next thing that you need to do or accomplish to get to what you're trying to manifest. If you allow the universe to drive the bus, to bounce the ball, it will not steer you off course. There may be times when to you it appears as though you're off course, or it appears as though you're being delayed, or why do we have to go do this, or why am I having to go do that? But inevitably, if you just allow the things to come in and have your emotional reactions, it's okay to have the emotional reactions to things, but don't take action based on your emotional reactions. Okay? When something appears to go wrong, when you're bouncing the ball and you're letting it go and it hits a stick and it bounces off, you're going to get frustrated, and you might see that now I'm going to have to do something separate to get this manifestation to happen. That's okay. But don't take action from that point of frustration. Just take a second. Allow the frustration to come in and go out, and then take action based on what has actually physically happened. Okay? Not how you feel about it, but just, okay, this is the space I'm in now. All right, let's bounce the ball again and see how much closer I can get. And the more that you practice this, especially with smaller things, once you have the experience of bouncing the ball and just letting it go and just waiting and just watching and accepting what happens and then getting what you asked for, getting your manifestation, once you've had that experience, then you start practicing with bigger things. And since you already have the experience of knowing that if it hits a crack or a rock or a stick, it's fine, it's going to work out, then you stop trying to catch the ball and having to start all over again. So that was it. That was basically what I channeled for someone yesterday, and they were happy and fine for me to share it with you here today. And this is the technique that I've used multiple times myself, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Even in my own personal life right now, when I'm trying to get things accomplished, things come up that I feel like, you can vet the changes. I'm not saying that every single thing that comes at you, you have to accept. But overwhelmingly, if your reaction to something is just a fear, and you're afraid that something's going to happen, but you know that it could possibly also work out for your benefit. If you're manifesting something and you're faced with a situation like that, overwhelmingly, I have found to just put the fear over here. Do not take action based on that fear, and just continue to allow what's coming to you to happen, and to just take action based on those things that are coming. And like I said, when you start with something small and work your way up, eventually the peace that comes when you really start to get to the bigger things, when you really start to realize the things that you can accomplish if you just allow and stop trying to change things along the way, or think that what's coming at you is not going to get you where you want to go. Because the more that you allow, what ends up happening is you get what you want plus a lot more. It ends up coming so much better than you could have imagined if you just allow. So that was it. Thank you guys for watching. Like I've been saying, the website is themanifestingmedium.com. I offer a $25 reading where you can ask 3 questions on up to one subject. The link is in the description, and there is a form that you can fill out where you just basically list out your questions and give us a little bit of pertinent information, and then within a few days we will get you the reading what I have channeled, and Karen will throw in some human design aspects as well to that. So if you're interested, it's themanifestingmedium.com. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.